It was Friday morning. The sun was hidden behind clouds, and there was a strange dampness in the air. David Miller's life was perfectly normal. He worked at a bank, living in a small but clean apartment with his wife, Emma. But something seemed different that day. David was about to arrive at the office when he got a call from Arnold Heston. Arnold said only this: "It's important to come to the funeral. It's not just a body, it's something else." David asked in surprise, "Whose funeral?" Arnold replied breathlessly, "We don't know. The body has no name, but I saw it in a dream. It's looking for you." A shiver ran down David's spine. The funeral was in an old church that was rarely used anymore. There weren't many people there, no family. Just a few strange faces and a coffin. There was no name on the coffin, only a black flower. Pastor Joseph began to preach the funeral, but every word seemed to carry a weight. David felt as if whispers were coming from the walls. "David, David," he turned around. No one was there. Arnold stood still, his eyes fixed on the body. "This is what I saw in my dream," he said. David peered inside the coffin. It was a woman's body. Her face was swollen, her eyes closed, but a slight smile on her lips, as if she knew something. The funeral was over. The priest told everyone to go to the cemetery. David stayed behind to help the coffin bearers. At that moment, something shook. The coffin started to move slightly. David looked back in shock. There was no one. He peered in and saw that the body's eyes were open. David's name, in his voice, the same whisper. David backed away and fell to the ground. When the coffin was opened again, the body was lying there, eyes closed, calm. "I'm not going crazy," he told himself. When he got home, David told Emma everything, but he thought it was mental stress. "You should rest for a few days. Maybe you're too tired." But that night, David dreamed that the same woman, dressed in black, came out of the grave and came into his room. She had a paper in her hand on which it was written, "Don't bury me, give me justice." The next morning, the same paper was under David's pillow. David ran to Arnold. He told the whole story. Arnold said softly, "This woman was buried alive." David was surprised. It is an old custom. Some people bury their loved ones alive to hide some family secrets. I have done some research. There are 4 such graves in the cemetery behind the church, none of which were buried properly. The eyes of the corpse started to roll before David's eyes. That night, David and Arnold went to the church cemetery. It was raining, there was a cold in the air and a feeling of someone's presence. David opened the same grave where the body was buried. But the grave was empty. "Where did she go?" Arnold whispered. Suddenly a voice came from behind. "You broke your promise, David." The same woman, covered in mud, soaked, but looking alive. There was a glint of revenge in her eyes. "Where is my justice? You heard me, but didn't tell the world. Now you have to tell everyone or I will take everything." David searched the old church records. The woman's name was Catherine Marlowe. She was a nurse who revealed the secrets of a wealthy family. The same family declared her crazy and had her buried alive, and the church kept quiet. Sadly. David described all this in a video and posted it on social media. Catherine's story went viral. Local authorities began investigating the cemetery. The bodies were exhumed. Justice was served. A few weeks later, David had one last dream. Catherine was standing in a flower garden, her face peaceful. "Thank you, David. I'm going now." She smiled, closed her eyes and disappeared. When David opened his eyes, his room was quiet. For the first time, without a whisper. Sometimes the dead don't speak unless someone is willing to listen.